And then didn't do too well. Last 4 games, though, 3-1. Brew, you got a grade?
How about them Cowboys?
Okay.
I want to celebrate the Cowboys today. I really do.
Okay.
Because it's the last win of the year. All right? The season's over. They play Tampa, Philadelphia, and Washington.
Washington might be locked into the
If they're
seven and
locked in, maybe,
people.
and they rest Jaden, maybe. But this was the last win of the year, so I want to celebrate.
Okay.
It's been a tough year,
yeah.
So I want to kind of bring them some joy. First of all, thank you, Cowboys. Y'all, people think I don't like you. I do like you.
This is why you.
They got me 6 points. Is it 6?
This is
6.
I don't know the rules.
Yeah,
so I'm leaving Wildes in the dust. All right,
dust.
I'm coming
Like
for
5
you
behind.
and Coach. I'm coming for y'all if y'all don't win tonight. Secondly, the Cowboys, we all know, and people think it's been a fruitless year for them. Not so. They were the state runner-ups. Second to Houston in the state of Texas. They, state championship. They finished second, so I'm giving them something.
Huge state.
And then as far as the grade, it's an I.
What's an I?
For I told you so. Y'all mocked me. Carolina's dying to win a game. They're just begging to win a game. Because they play the Chiefs stuff like everybody else does.
And they played the Eagles.
Oh, okay,
to the last
the
possession.
Cowboys went in there. Muscle up, right? This was the time. This was the one time this year they muscled up.
Muscle up was
Good
an
job,
insult.
Cal.
I didn't want to have to do this.
This is why I told you I'm not done. This is why I told you so. On Friday,
okay, why are we doing
Cowboys beat Tomato Can.
Okay.
Get the tomato can out. Put that back up because there was something else on the headline. They beat the Big Mac.
What?
The Big Mac.
Trying to save him.
That's
That's true.
You should like this, Greg.
Big Mac.
This is a Ravens bit.
And I'm going to eat this. After you ate that cheesesteak in front of us a couple weeks ago, I'm taking a bite. Greg will not be happy with me. But I'm taking a bite.
10 seconds.
Big Mac
I honestly,
Big Mac McCarthy.
Just quickly, because we have 3 other stories in the segment just peaked right here.
Yeah, exactly. We maybe should have put it last. Listen. I wasn't going to do any of this because this was supposed to be Brew's moment.
Yeah, it was. He really.
But instead, now because he was so obnoxious,
what?
I have to bring up when it came to the Cowboys offseason discussion, what's going to end up being a classic 2 by me and a classic 3 by Brew. Totally incorrect.
For the Cowboys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Which is. Hey, anybody checked on that Rico Dowdle-Tony Pollard matchup for the year?
Third straight
Let's go ahead and check it out. Rico on his heels. 5 yards to carry, 102 yards behind. Yeah, but one guy is surging.
I'm happy
and
for
the other
Rico.
guy is falling apart.
I'm happy for Rico.
I feel like, then apologize
Rico
to him.
is like.
Apologize to him.
Like
because all you did. Greg?
That's exactly right.
Genty?
That's exactly right.
I'm going to show you. If I was at Boise State, I'd be rushing
like
for
as an
2,000 yards
adjective,
too.
like Rico Dowdle, like you said it with such disdain and disgust.
18 for 23. This is just targeting his old friend, passing at 153. Had 5 big catches, and Davante has 3 touchdowns. He's. I'm telling you, I was one of the few people locked into that game. Greg, we'll start with you. Optimistic?
No.
Starting to change your mind? Good?
No, stop it. This was 2 teams that were fighting to get to 4-10.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Did he play well? Absolutely. Davante had a great outing. Aaron Rodgers had a great outing. They got to win against a terrible team. Because they're a terrible team. And so if you were going to be optimistic, last year was the year to be optimistic. This year would have been that year to be optimistic. I'm not going to now be fooled and bamboozled like I was this year because I picked this team.
Yeah. It's not going to have it be 2 things he's fooled and bamboozled about.
Exactly. I knew you were going to come back to that Kansas City.
I agree with you on this. Yeah.
I'm not going to be bamboozled by the idea that their roster is good and they have
much
the talent.
And look at Aaron. Now that he's healthy, he just needed a year off the Achilles.
I'm not.
So listen, Aaron Rodgers might be right about something. The Jets might actually be cursed. Because if we were to script the cruelest possible scenario for their fans, these last 2 weeks are part of it. The moment, literally the week, you're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, you get old Aaron and old Davante, and just long enough to trick you into bringing them both back next year, which would be a grievous error, and now one I fully expect the Jets to make.
I agree.
I think that, and they won a game. All of a sudden, they have the 8th pick of the draft. They didn't move up the draft list. Final week of the year, you know who comes to the Meadowlands to play in freezing cold temperatures? The Dolphins. So they're going to get another win, fall out of the top 10 entirely, be like, well, we can't even draft a quarterback. So what do you want us to do? And Aaron looked good. I now think they might actually run it back.
I agree.
Which is one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard, and I think that's what's going to happen.
Here, I agree with a lot of what you said. And I look at this, it's already 2 games into the 5-game trial. Now, Aaron was like, they don't know what I bring to the table if they're looking for this. But that's what it's been. And if he plays let's say he keeps playing this well over the last 3 games, I'm going to be like Greg. I'm not going to pick them to do anything next year. But if you're the Jets, and this is what sways me, you got a $49 million cap hit on Aaron Rodgers if you cut him. So I'm looking at, do I want to pay this guy $50 million to not even be here? If he plays well and he and Davante and he and Garrett are clicking, to me it comes down to this. Where's the locker room on Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, my God.
I'm serious. If Garrett and Breece Hall and these young guys are rocking with him and like, no, we're cool with Aaron. We like it. And he keeps playing well, and I got to pay him $50 million anyway, I might bring him back. If the players are like, man, this has been terrible. This dude is toxic. Our locker room is ruined. Then you got to move.
What about the fact that there's no reason to believe that over the course of a full season he's a good player?
I agree with you, but I'm saying I got to pay him $50 million.
But you
unless I have a better alternative.
You got to move. You can split that over 2 years, and you got to move. You got to turn
better
the page.
Alternative.
Are you coming around, Wildes?
There's points where he looks like the old Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
and Davante looks good. Davante is like a cheat code for him. Davante's like his Justin Jefferson.
But Davante's also going this direction.
No, Davante looks good.
What I do agree with you on, Nick, is the pressure's gone. And this reminds me of his last year in Green Bay. Right? When everybody were basically out of the playoffs, then he started playing well.
All of them have their vehicles running right now to see who can race to get to Cancun. Like, I mean, nobody's locked in for the Jags aren't locked in anymore.
You. Talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars like that.
No, we're not doing it, Wildes.
Not doing it.
We're not doing it. Move on. Roll the tape.
Giving 110% out there. Texas. That's not great.
Yeah, you tried to blame Mike McDaniel for this.
I'm sorry. Mike McDaniel is 3-15.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm blaming the city of Miami.
Okay.
Talking to Gianna about it.
Another spot.
Heat culture.
I think he's kicking
Listen,
a little bit.
Dolphins win this game. They're 7-7 and alive.
Yeah.
So of course Tua's bad. Like Tua's bad in the cold. Tua's bad against good teams. Tua's also bad in the high. We've gone over it. Playoffs on the line, in the playoffs, those games, the highest pressure games. Remember I had the list. What?
A lot of those are cold, though, too.
Sometimes,
right,
yeah.
I think it probably overlaps.
No, because they weren't all cold weather games, because some were in Miami.
Were they good teams, though?
Yes.
He has two types of kryptonite.
Okay,
good teams and bad ones.
Here's what I'm making an announcement for the show. I am never going to be even 5% bullied by this guy again about this player.
Look at the numbers.
What more do you want him to do?
Oh, he led the league in passing.
He led the league in passing. He got over the injury problems. Why don't you? He is everyone who watches. I feel like knows. It's like, oh yeah, he absolutely can execute a script if it's perfect. But the moment timing is off, the pass rush gets there, everything's not, maybe Mike McDaniel's scheme has gone stale a little bit. Sure, fine. The moment things are not the best situation imaginable for a quarterback, he's awful. And in the biggest spots against good teams, awful. And they're stuck, man. They just paid him.
Look, what did I say? Wait, be patient. But Tua is a good quarterback, but there's a ceiling. I think the good teams, could he get over that? Let me put it this way. Everything has to be perfect for him. The defense has to be great. Can you win big with him? If the defense is great, he already has great receivers, and the run game is strong.
And you're in a dome, and you get home field.
Well, look, I think, could he get over the good teams, not beating good teams? Yes, I think with the right pieces around him. The cold weather, can he get over that?
I don't know. He hasn't proven that he can, but I'm not completely putting it on Tua. I'm with Wildes. Like, this is on the head coach too. Because just like we look at the Detroit Lions and we talk about they've taken on the identity of their coach, like when I watch the Dolphins,
it's fine.
Like, they take on the identity of their coach. They're like, I can't not see breakdancers now. Like, I legitimately can't not see breakdancers. So, like, this is not just on Tua. Tua played terrible yesterday. Right. Played terrible yesterday.
But the game, like, what's lost in this, Texans didn't play well on offense.
No,
they didn't.
CJ didn't play well. That game was there for the taking.
They do have a really good pass defense.
Head-to-head comparison, it's all Big Show all the time. Nick, what was the bigger story here, Big Show or Justin Herbert?
Listen, I'd love it to be Baker because Baker's my guy, and I think his resurgence is awesome. And maybe I'm, a little polluted because I get the most infuriating texts every time Justin Herbert's playing a game from Danny Parkins, like, what a throw. Look at that arm. And at some point, you've got to show me something. Justin Herbert's passer rating by year, that's not everything, but it's an interesting one. Mm-hmm. 98, 97, 93, 93, 97. Now, his yards per game have plummeted, obviously, this year, but the touchdowns the interceptions has, plummeted. It's been 5 years. You have Jim Harbaugh. In one of these games, win. Play better than the opposing quarterback and win. Twice yesterday, Brew, when the game was still in the balance. 4th down. We're going for it. He throws short of the sticks. Yeah. That's the thing. For a guy with such a rocket arm, it's a lot of 3rd down and 4th down throwing short of the stick stuff.
Is that play calling or is that?
I just think
that is not play calling. Like, you got to know. You got to get beyond the sticks. Kirk Cousins did this in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's not play calling because there's somebody beyond the sticks. You just got to go and make that throw. But the bigger story is Baker. Baker, like at the beginning of the season, we were literally talking about Baker Mayfield in the MVP conversation. And then he lost his 2 top receivers, which, again, you can't argue about that because everybody has suffered injuries. But Baker has been a grinder. Mm-hmm. I'm talking all season long. He has been gritty and in the mix with this team. And I'm going to tell you right now, this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, because of the way he's playing, there's nobody in the NFC that's like raising their hands and saying,
they've beaten Detroit and Philly.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like they have Philly's number.
Yeah, I'm with Greg. I mean, Baker, he obviously won't be the MVP, but he could be on some ballots. It goes 5 deep. He could be.
He's in the conversation?
He said in the mix.
There's a case.
Is he on Bruce?
Not for MVP.
Bruce
There's no
ballot?
case for him to be MVP. But for to get on somebody's top 5 ballot, he's fighting for the 5th. He's fighting for the 5th.
You know what? He's
trying.
Can I pitch you something?
He and Darnold.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.